In the last 4 months, I've made $1.3 million cash, and I'm gonna dive into this inside of this episode here with you. So, when I first started my company, I had no idea that you could make over $1 million cash in 4 months. It's actually under 4 months, but let's just say 4 months. I had no idea that you could do that. I didn't know that millions were available for you. All I knew is that I wanted to make $5,000 a month to cover my groceries, my student loan debt, monthly payment, and my rent in New York City, and be able to take some nice workout classes and just live a beautiful life. Go out to dinner, spend time with family, and not have to focus on money. So when I first started Freedom Queen, I had other businesses my whole life because if you're anything like me, you've always been an entrepreneur. And when I started Freedom Queen, I just had this vision to really build something incredible, to build a company that I loved, that transformed other women in their lives. And when I first realized, oh, I could make $1 million, that felt so far away from me. The first million felt like, that is so far away, but it happened so quickly after that. My first $1 million in cash, it happened so quickly after I had those thoughts. Isn't that funny? It's like, you think it's far away, but actually it's so much closer than you think. It's so much closer than you think, all of it. And so I remember it was November of 2022. I'm like, $1 million. I almost said 100 million, future pacing myself. $1 million. Wow. Like that sounds amazing. Yes. Okay. That sounds also so far away. How am I going to do that? What am I going to do? And so I just started building because building is what I love to do. I talk about milestones and income and money a lot in Freedom Queen, but what I actually love is the building, the innovation, the creativity, because that's what actually creates wealth in your company. This is why I'm so obsessed with teaching women how to lead themselves, be pioneers, innovators, creators in their brands, because that's where the soul really lives, the actual building process of it. Because once the building is finished building, what are you going to do? You're going to stare at it? Sure, maybe for a day, 2 days, 2 weeks. But then you're going to go build something else. I guarantee it. That's who you are. So we got to keep you in the building phase. And so in the last 4 months, doing $1.3 million cash, I have been so in the zone of just, here's what I'm here to build. Here's what I'm doing in Freedom Queen, and here's where my heart is at. And I have no idea what other people are doing. I don't know what they're building. I don't know how much money they're making. I don't know what they're posting on the internet. All I know is that I'm building Freedom Queen company. And that's why I'm collapsing time around money. I'm innovating brand new ways of doing business. I'm creating new styles of content. I'm developing new ways for people to sell, and it's working faster for myself and my clients. My clients in the history of Freedom Queen are getting the most incredible transformations than they ever have in my entire business journey. And that is because of the way that I'm pioneering Freedom Queen, building high-end movements, depth, quality, artistry, beautiful things with people. And so over the last 4 months, I put such a big focus on creating a premium world for my buyers. What does that mean? So I've created a world where high ticket buyers want to pay to be a part of. It is attractive to them and their identity to become a part of the Freedom Queen world. When people land on my page, they assume that Bridget's spaces are high ticket. So it's a no-brainer for someone to pay $50,000, $100,000 for a coaching package because they deeply want to be a part of the brand because it aligns with their next level identity. So when you're creating a premium world or high-end movement, you want to make sure that your brand is attractive to someone that would want to work with you at that level. Is attractive to someone that wants to pay that amount of money. And so I want you to think about, for your high ticket buyers, if they were to land on your feed, would they be interested in what you're bringing to the table? Would they be activated by your leadership? Would they think to themselves, wow, this woman is a literal genius. I need to know what she's on, what's happening inside of her life. I love her thought leadership. I love what she's up to. I love how she's innovating. I love what she's creating. I would gladly pay that. This is the fastest way to jump your income. And so I want you to think about, is your brand actually a place that premium buyers would want to hang out? If not, what do you need to change? If it's not thought-provoking to them, what do you need to shift about your content? If it's not interesting to them, what do you need to shift about yourself to be that activating leader for your clients? The next reason I've done 1.3 million in the last 4 months is because I put such a big focus on selling high ticket offers. High ticket offers are the easiest things to sell, and I sell them to people that want to buy them. I don't sell high ticket offers to people that don't want to buy them. So you will not see me talking to someone in the DMs for hours and hours and hours trying to get them to buy a high ticket offer. Again, I've positioned the world, the brand, as a place that people want to land in and they feel like, oh, I belong here. It's like when I go to the Four Seasons, as an example, and I walk in and they're like, oh, Mrs. Ling and Mr. Purvis, we're so happy that you're here and staying with us. Welcome. And they give us a coconut and they give us a towel. And I'm like, ooh, I belong here. They ask us, oh yeah, how are you guys doing? We saw that you were just in the Four Seasons in Atlanta, or Four Seasons in Chiang Mai, or Four Seasons in Vail. Like, how are you guys doing? Oh, okay, you remember me. Oh, wow. Okay, you see me. This is so good. We go out to dinner and we come back and there's like little chocolates on our pillow with our slippers set out beside the bed. We go to have breakfast the next day and there's lattes, and we ask them, oh, why did you set up these lattes? And they say, because you always order lattes, right? And so they understand us as a buyer, which is why we always invest our money into that company, because it's very reciprocal. We're not a transaction to them. They care about the customer and the client experience. So in 2025 and at the end of 2024, I noted that in 2025, I was going to really deeply root Freedom Queen in terms of client experience, in terms of client experience in the sales process, which is what I call buying experiences. So there's one way to sell to someone, which is get them on a masterclass, sell them on the back end, and treat them like a transaction. And then there's another way to create buying experiences. Now, buying experiences are based on how you make people feel. When someone first interacts with you in the DMs, I want you to ask yourself, are you curating an experience for them that makes them feel like they are appreciated and yet also you're leading them? Or does it feel like you need the sale? Does it feel like you're anxious around them? Does it feel like there's any sort of attachment to them? Have you ever been to a store and you walk in and then like somebody comes up to you and they're like, what do you need? Hi, welcome. What are you looking for? What do you need? What are you looking for? What's going on? Like, oh, can I help you? And you walk over and you're like, no, thank you. And you walk over and you go looking and you just like feel them lurking over your shoulder. Have you ever had that happen? You probably leave the store and you don't buy anything, because you feel really weirded out. But now imagine you go into, let's say, a Louis Vuitton, or let's think of Dior as an example. I love the Dior shopping experience. You go into Dior. First things first is that if there's too many people in the store, they don't let more people in because they don't want the buying experience to be overcrowded. So you can make your buyers wait. You don't have to respond to them right away. You can make them wait and say, we're at capacity right now. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. Right? Increase the demand, the experience. And then when you enter into Dior, you get a private shopper. And this private shopper, it does not feel like they want you to buy something, although they absolutely do because they get commissions on sales. They treat you like you're having a conversation with your friend who you just met. And she's asking you like, oh, what are you looking for? Would you like some champagne or an espresso? Would you like a little chocolate? What can I get you? You know, it's like you're inviting someone into your beautiful store. And you want to ask yourself, how would you love for them to be felt? Or how would you love for them to feel when they enter inside? When you make your buyers feel like they are appreciated, like they're welcome, and that you don't need them, you're just happy to show them around, it's a completely different way of selling. So when I sell 50K and 6-figure plus packages, I sell it with the frequency of, here you go. Here's the information. Would you like to sign up? And that's a grounded way of looking at your business, right? That means that you are grounded in who you are. That means that you're grounded in what you bring to the table. And that also means that you know you can lead people. You can lead them at that price point. And so when you are selling to more premium people, you also have to remember that these are powerful leaders. The reason why the women who hire me end of 2024, 2025, they're extremely powerful leaders in the online coaching industry is because I also hold that power and let them know that I can hold you and help you go to your next level in your business. When you are giving off this frequency that you can't hold big people won't come to you. You know, imagine, let's go back to the Dior example. A really powerful woman who wants to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars. She's so excited, so activated about her mentorship. But then she walks into like a Walmart, or she walks into like this little shop where the person's looking over her shoulder and everyone's screaming and running around, and it's like really weird and not activating for her. It doesn't feel good. And she's like, oh my gosh, I don't know about this. Like, actually, I'm going to go take my money elsewhere. I'm going to spend it somewhere where it's a match for the identity that I want to go to. This is what will shift for you when you start selling real high ticket packages, is you will shift into the person that is a match for your buyer. So you always want to think about when you're selling higher ticket packages, is this a match for the high ticket buyer? And you look at that through everything that you're doing in the company. So through your content, through how you speak, through how you mentor. And sometimes what will happen is as you're up-leveling in your business, if you shift your mentorship coaching, the relationship that you have with your clients will change and evolve. So you'll start to see that take a turn or become different, and maybe you'll have a different relationship with certain clients and others, and it'll change because what you're actually doing is evolving in your leadership. So it's not just like you're going to change your messaging. It's all parts of you. It's your leadership, how you are as a boss, how you are as a mentor, how you are in your own mentorship with the mentor that you have. It is your relationship to how you sell, right? So all of these things change. And that's why something I'm so obsessed with and I love about this work is that we change as leaders. You change as a leader the more you allow yourself to become the next level version of yourself, right? I look at old photos of myself. I look at old pictures. I look at who I used to be, and I'm like, that woman is completely different. Someone asked me when my team member first joined Freedom Queen, she was like, did you get plastic surgery? She's like, I remember you from 2021 and you look completely different. I'm like, no, I have never gotten plastic surgery. But you know what I have done is I've fallen more in love with myself, and I'm more powerful than ever before. And I know who I am as an individual, and I'm so proud of what I've created and the transformations. And I just don't stop evolving and evolving and evolving. Oftentimes when I look at people and they look pretty much the same as they were a month ago, 2 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, whatever, I'm like, well, that's why your income isn't changing. And so in my life, I'm always looking at how can I shift and change? And a piece of that too, I just made an episode on this, the last episode, so you're going to want to listen to that, on change, is that it's uncomfortable, right? Change is not supposed to be comfortable. So I'm having my highest cash months ever in business, and also really, really quickly evolving. Like, I went from doing $1 million in all-time cash, and it was about 2.5 years, to $1 million in cash in 4 months. That's fast. That's a very short amount of time. That was only 2 years ago that I was celebrating that, right? And so if you're a woman who wants to hold a big brand, a big company, you're a visionary, you're a pioneer, you're the trendsetter, you've been trending your whole life, and you also at the same time feel extremely uncomfortable or uncertain, know that you're okay. Like, a part of growing the muscle is also stretching the muscle. A part of growing as a human being is also going through some crazy stuff that makes you go like, what is this? What is happening here? And that's a part of the process, because what you're actually doing is you're extracting all the wisdom for your clients, for your people, for your book, for your next best-selling offer that you are going to create. So creating $1.3 million cash in 4 months has been a lot of change and fast evolution. Team, leadership, brand positioning, offers. I've created a lot of new styles of content. I'm completely pioneering things that no one else has done. And I share this with you because if you're in a season of massive growth, I invite you to also pioneer your way. I invite you to make your style of content that you want to be making. The types of reels, the carousel posts, the sell the way that you want to sell. Because when you do this, you will have a brand, a company that people come to you and they say, well, how are you doing that? Can you teach me? And then people will try and copy you. They'll try and copy your way, and they'll think that it's a strategy. But the strategy was you actually pioneered something new. Now, the next piece of this is that when my business started really taking off in 2022, so my second year in business, something I put so much of my focus on in mentorship and what I was teaching was moving away from low-level strategies to high-level strategies. And there's a difference between the two. I stopped marketing to low-level strategies because low-level strategies were like how to sell out your program in 4 weeks, how to use these hooks. And I really started to ask myself, are these even topics that you want to teach on? Like, if you were to die today, would this be something that you want to be known for? And the answer was no. And this is when I started to bring forward programs like Celeb Status or Icon or Down in the DMs. I started to like pioneer these new offers that I was really interested in building out. And something I started to notice is I started to make more money. Shocker. You pioneer your own way. You go to the edge of your next biggest breakthrough. You do something that's bigger than anything you've ever done before. And so I bring forward these new offerings and I make more money than ever before. And that's exactly what I'm doing in 2025. I've brought forward so many new signature offers, programs that I am so embodied in, programs that I'm obsessed with. And so I want you to ask yourself, are you bringing forward programs that you are radically obsessed with? Or are you bringing forward programs that you just think that it's going to sell to make you money? I'm talking about actually building a real brand. I'm talking about building a real company. And that's different than just building an internet thing that lasts a moment in time. And when you're building a real brand, it's you rooting down. And you root down through long-term mentorship, root it down. You root down through events, root it down. You root down through creating buying experiences, world-class experiences for your customers, having signature offers that are related to the brand you're building. And I think of it like a tree where you have this content that's coming out that's so unique to your company. People know you for it. You're famous for those styles of content. You're known for that work. These are roots that go deeper and deeper, and it makes you unshakable. It's like everyone wants to work with you because you've built this brand that is so magnetizing to people. They're so obsessed with you and what you're bringing to the table because you built this real company. And when you lead with innovation and creativity, building a real world of your own, not just saying, I'm building a world of my own, but actual world of your own, where the rules that you live by, the strategies that you create are different, more people will want to work with you. And so I moved away from low-level strategies to high-level strategies, where I wasn't just teaching people, here's how to sell at your launch. I was more interested in having a high-level strategy conversation about sales. Just like this, right? This is what I do inside of my Freedom Queen Mastermind, my private mentorship, Freedom Queen Experience. It is all high-level strategies for high-level people. Because when I first started diving into high-level strategies, I completely quantum leaped in my business because I had previously been studying low-level strategies, which were like, how say this to sell at your launch. And I'm like, I don't need that. Like, there's got to be something bigger. But when I really started diving into this work and studying this work and building my own work around high-level strategies, that's when I saw the most amount of income come in. And so I want you to not build your business for people that you don't want to be working with, but build your business for people that you would absolutely love to be serving and mentoring and leading. $1.3 million cash in the last 4 months. We are continuing to collapse time. By March 9th of this year, we had $2.2 million in sales for the year. Absolute insanity. And that's because of this work that I'm talking about in this episode. Freedom Queen, when you're ready to join one of our high-level mastermind spaces, send me a message on Instagram and I will talk with you about our different mastermind spaces. I will see which one you're the best fit for, if you are a good fit for either of the spaces that we have. And I'm so excited for you to collapse time inside of your business. Okay, I will talk to you soon.